Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your bi-weekly tarot reading. So this is for Aquarius sun or rising signs, and this is from the period of the full moon to the new moon. So the full moon on June 3rd to the new moon on June 17th. So the full moon on June 3rd is going to be in Sagittarius in tropical astrology. It will be in Scorpio in sidereal astrology, and then we are taking this up to the new moon, which is going to be in Gemini in tropical astrology, and that is on the 17th. So we are doing a little bit of a different layout for this particular moon phase. I'm just kind of feeling it, so we're experimenting and seeing how far out that goes. Oh, interesting cards. So we're looking at what shadowy aspects or what beliefs might be holding you back from creating the lifestyle or the life that you want to be creating. Like what is one of the linchpins that is holding you back from that? And then what kind of spiritual advice that you have coming in with that? I felt like this particular time of the month would be a really great time to look at that, since it's the waning part of the moon, right? The energy of the moon is waning. It's like I've been using the example lately of like when you cut into like an over medium egg and it just like bleh, like all the yolk spills out. It's like that kind of energy, right? Because that build up to that full egg, that full new moon is just like building, and then it bursts after the new moon. All that energy gets dispersed and it's like waning, right? And this can be a more introspective time. It can be a time to look at adjusting for what maybe isn't serving or working anymore, what needs to be let go of, and like kind of just cleaning house. It's like cleaning house every month, right? So we can take the opportunity to do that or not. You don't have to work with that, but I just thought it would be a good thing to kind of check out. And then we're also going to use my new deck, which I'm totally stoked on. So we're going to look at first what's blocking you, and then how can you be in action about aligning with creating that lifestyle, that life that you want, being aligned with your values, right? So we say that we're committed to creating a certain life or a lifestyle, or we're committed to like our values and our value system. And then we go about life in these habitual ways that are totally not that. So I think we want to be aware of either our values are no longer aligned and we need to check those, or if we check those and we're like, yep, that's still aligned with what I want and what I value, then we need to check our actions to see about like, how come we're not able to forward our dreams or our vision, right? So let's take a look at that. And then we'll pull also like one more card for, oh, how beautiful. I'm discovering these cards as you guys are, because I haven't gone through them one by one. I just figured I would cleanse them and then start using them and be surprised. So I think these are great so far. And we're taking a look at one more card for just like, what is any additional advice from your guides, spiritual advice, that will help you with ferrying across the waters between here, the full moon to the new moon. And we have the Three of Wands showing up there. So, all right. Oh, it's crooked. Here you go, guys. Sorry about that. We'll start with these cards and then move into the lighter cards. I think that's a good flow. So we'll start with the Sacrifice card is what's coming up. And this is from a shadow deck that I have. So it's meant to actually show, you know, limiting beliefs, shadows, places that we have not acknowledged that exist in our subconscious or in our blind spots, or that we push down and suppress, you know. And this one having to do with sacrifice, I feel like is it's very direct and clear, right? Aquarius, where are you overly sacrificing in your life? Where are you taking on maybe more than you need to? There's only so much you can take on before you can break, right? You can't take on the weight of the world. You can't take it all on and expect that you're going to be able to hold that vision for everybody, or hold the space, or hold the world up for everybody, you know. And when you're sacrificing to your detriment, right? There's compromising. There's maybe some like sacrifice that I would consider healthy, but then when you're sacrificing to the degree that is compromising your sanity, your health, your emotional health, your well-being, and it's just too much, you know, sacrificing your values, what you've held dear to, sacrificing your own internal commitments to yourself. then it becomes a problem. So I would say like that feels pretty straightforward and clear. There are a couple other ways I might read that card, but that's the one that's really like coming through here in this scenario. So and then we're looking at the spiritual advice. And of course, like, it's such a gruesome picture. You're just like, how the hell is that spiritual advice? But it's like, I think, you know, normally, of course, yeah, the Three of Swords is just, well, it can be like a really painful and gruesome feeling. It can feel like the end of the world, the end of our life, just so disappointing, so just like having grief or loss. And, you know, when I find that this shows up in a position of spiritual advice, it's like, look, you know, it's not as bad as you think it is. The world is not going to end if you renegotiate how much you've taken on, right? I'm relating it back to this card. Like, the world is not going to, you know, fall apart. People are not going to be like so disappointed or angry or decimated by your decision to do this. Like, your idea of how much you will disappoint other people, or your idea of how much you'll disappoint yourself, or how bad it will be, is more than what it actually would be, right? In this particular case, that's what this card in this position is showing, right? And so it's just like, this needs to be evaluated, and you know, the concerns that you have around the impact of this are actually more an idea in your mind, or more the concerns or fears in your mind feel like they are factual, or like this is what they will be, versus how they will actually play out and how they'll go, you know. And ultimately, even if people are disappointed or upset by any kinds of rearranging of the puzzle pieces of your life and commitments and things that you take on initially, even if there's pushback or there's upset or disappointment, eventually things will even out, and it won't be like that forever. So I think that's something to take into account. I really love the transition, though, the contrast into this particular area. So when we're looking at, again, you know, that's like where you blocked, right? And then how can you be in alignment and action with your what you want to create in your life, right? How do you align with your values? You know, the Ace of Cups is one of those really beautiful cards that is just overflowing with faith and with hope for what comes next, or what is, you know. And I think that there is a return to this, a return to remembering the pure waters of love, of faith, of beauty, of what's possible, of hope, right? There is this real clean, like cleansing, clean water that pours forth from the Ace of Cups that cleanses away everything. And I think that there is a kind of cleansing of sorts that just needs to happen for you, Aquarius. Like, there is this remembrance of what is possible, and but what feels light, right? What feels light to your heart? What feels hopeful and nourishing and full of possibility to your heart? What feels healing in a way that is like, it heals your faith or your hope or your belief in the world and people in your path. And I feel like that's a guiding light for how you can move towards that, right? Is to look into that, to feel into that more accurately, to feel into that. And that's the way to take action, is to feel into that space. So when we take a look at how you can also be like, or what also advice you can have for the next 2 weeks in order to get like from here to there, from the full moon to the new moon, what additional advice you have is the Three of Wands. You know, the Three of Wands is definitely like, hey, there's some decisions that need to be made so that actions can be taken to move things forward, whether it's with a relationship or whether it's with like business or projects or whatever it is. You know, like, there is something to be said for evaluating the options that are at hand, the choices and decisions that need to be made, and then taking action and starting to make those moves. So I hope that this feels clear and that it was insightful. And if it was, please consider giving the video a like. It does help the channel as I'm building it. I will have up on the screen the Aquarius month video so that you can check that out, and then also the video for the first half of June, the astrology highlights. I'm just experimenting with doing that, so we'll see. Like, it just depends on like how well those videos do, and also time constraints. So if this is something that you would like to see more of, or you'd like to be up on when these videos drop, please consider also hitting the notification bell and subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.